Yeah, with your kind of unconventional style of recruiting here, not allowing official visits until the start of the regular season, is it kind of difficult to remain patient? And the class is kind of slowly coming together, but you got guys that are maybe pulling the trigger, and you think, man, if we could have just gone after that guy and had him in officially, we would have had a better chance. Or how is it hard to kind of stay patient and watch the thing play out?
Well, it's easy for us to stay patient. It's not easy for those players to stay patient. So it's a different way to go about it, but hey, you know, I think it's the right way to do it. So we all enjoy it. It's kind of refreshing to see Coach Sweeney, you know, and his philosophy on that. That is very refreshing to do. So
Is it kind of fun then to buck the trend and be kind of somebody that goes about their business?
absolutely, because it's about the people. You know, you got to have good people and the people that fit the program. So that's what we try to do. Get to know them a little bit, and most of the guys understand that we deal with. So it's going to be fun.
And I guess if you're patient with a kid like that, it doesn't make a rash decision to commit. You kind of get a better feeling, I would imagine, that hey, these guys are really all in for, you know, with lack of a better term, with
yes.
us, and they're not just picking us because, hey, I got a Clemson from offer.
That's the way. We like for them, hey, do your research. We're going to do ours. You do your research and, you know, make your decision. And they know how we stand on that. So it's pretty neat. Good question, though.
Hey, Robbie, you got a bunch of guys this year. You got some depth you built over the last couple of recruiting classes, but some guys like Taquan Johnson, Brent Tucker, Brian Tucker. Those couple guys I'm really interested in seeing how they develop. What did you saw out of those guys so far this spring, especially Taquan?
They saying they haven't, you know, because I watched a little bit what we can do. Can't work with them, but they say they're running really well, which is big for Taquan. You know, he weighs about 350, so he's making all his running times, really progressing. I'm getting great reports through the strength staff and through our upperclassmen, who I got some really good leadership in that room now, and it's exciting to see. So getting good reports on both of them. We've gotten bigger, we've gotten stronger. According to the strength staff, it's maybe the strongest we've been in quite a while. So our size is getting there. You know, when you sign a guy, you're looking for growth potential, but there's really no guarantees in how they handle it. Well, a guy like Paul Teo, he went from 340 to 295, and now he's doing it the right way, and he's back to about 320 now. So looks really good, running better, stronger. So it's good.
That's one of the things you got to do with all those kids when they come in is get rid of that bad weight, then build them back up.
Exactly. Well, particularly for offensive linemen, and nobody does it better than our strength staff. You know, it's so important. You got to enjoy the weight room if you're one of those guys. You know, skilled people, they might can get by on athleticism some, but you know, we got to have some bulk about us and some strength about us, and you know, it was someone that was missing in last year, so it's coming along. You know, not having a summer to lift, COVID, this and that. We don't use excuses. We did what we did, and you know, we had several guys that limped to the finish line, and really, my hat's off to them for sacrificing, you know, to do that. And we just mentally didn't have some people ready. We had some miss a lot of work from either COVID or COVID contact. You know, we've had as many as 48 days from spring to into camp. So.
Taquan comes from like a wrestling background. Mm-hmm. That usually transfers pretty well to the guard center areas. Is something we saw as well? Another question on Linthicum, the new center guy.
Right.
What do you seen at him? He came
well, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. He hurt his wrist, and he's behind there a little bit. You know, missing some work, but he's got great potential. So does Taquan. You know, the thing with Taquan, he's only played defense, and you know, it's just not something that's natural anymore, just to move right over it. You know, when I started, we didn't recruit anything but defensive linemen. Why? Because they played both ways. Now kids don't play both ways anymore. And then you find the exception like Tristan Lee and Dietrich Pennington. They did. So, you know, they could adjust into it really well. So, and they both played some tight end, particularly Dietrich, and a little more used to being on offense, and so it's exciting.
Is Hunter one of the biggest centers you've ever had here?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's about.
center,
Yeah,
walking
he's
up the
about.
line.
He's 320
He's huge.
something. So,
First thing I noticed, the spring ball was-
it's good.
He walks
But
up the line, he's
you know, Justin Falcinelli, I think he probably weighed 315 maybe. So,
sharp.
but you know, he didn't. Justin wasn't that tall. Took him a little while to get used to it, but when he did, he was really good. So that's what I'm hoping for. You know, Hunter played a little bit of everything in high school, and his program was lost their coach in the middle of this season, a lot of different things. So he had a lot. He got moved around and filled in some places where they had a need. So
I got a question
getting
right there.
adjusted.
The cross training you do, some of that. Talk about that and your philosophy behind cross training like you do.
Well, you know, two things. You never know when an injury is going to occur, and you got to have depth. And to get your best players on the field, you know, we have 4 lines, counting all our guys, but they might not be the best at that position. So when we can get the best guys on the field, it shouldn't be shocking to them, because they should have a rep or two, you know, at it before. So like this year, Matt Bockhorst's been working at center, you know, so shouldn't be, if we had to have him at center, you know, then we got a guy ready at guard. Marcus Tate came in here as a freshman. He's played tackle and guard already. So some can handle it, some can't, and that's kind of when the maturity, you know, everybody matures a little differently, so you never know.
Marcus a bit of a surprise for just kind of where he was in the spring?
Physically, I kind of thought, you know, he might be close to that, but mentally, I had no idea. And not only did he come in and learn football well, he had a 4.0, and he should still be in high school. So that may have been the first time I've had that, a 4.0, out of a mid-year guy who still stood be in high school. So it's pretty cool.
Coach, with Jackson Carmen moving on to the NFL, who has caught your eye to maybe take that starting role at left tackle?
Well, in the spring, we switched Jordan and Walker around, just kind of see who, you know, was most comfortable. And Jordan had done it before. Walker's done it. So trying to create a little flexibility there. You know, they worked at it pretty well. John Williams and Mitchell Mays, they switched sides, and then I ended up moving John to guard. We had a little need there. So we try to get them used to it. It's to me, I try to teach it. It's not such a big deal, but it is. You know, your dominant foot maybe is not the one you're using the most, so it's harder than it used to be. But you know, because of the passing game so much. So, but they've adjusted to it well, and. You know, if we started tomorrow, when we walked out there, we'd have Jordan at left and Walker at right, and then we'll let it sort out from there, see who's, you know, we don't put anything in stone. Everybody earns their keep every year when we start over. So.
How do you feel about the tackles behind those two right now? Obviously, spring was about developing depth there.
Right, Mitchell Mays made a great deal of progress there as well. You know, we, like I said, had John Williams working there some, and he worked at guard. Paul T.O. does both guard and tackle, and now that you know, Paul's got that bolt added back, he's very strong in there at guard. It gives us a little more size. So you know, Tristan Lee and Dietrich Pennington are both. Dietrich is a guy that can play both inside and out. From what I've seen, obviously I hadn't worked with him, and Tristan. Probably a little more tackle than inside, but hey, you know, at 320 something, I wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't play at all in there.
Compared to Tristan, as he came in to where Jackson came in at the same time, the freshman year, where they're at right now?
That's a good question. You know, I would say just looking at them, comparing from high school to high school, Tristan might be a little more athletic just because he's lighter. You know, people forget that Jackson came in here weighing about 380 and had to get down, but he was like a dancing bear with, you know, at 380. So he had great feet. Learning. Tristan has been in a three-point stance more at this point in his career than Jackson had. So that's a little bit, you know, if you had to move inside, that's a little bit more beneficial. If you've been in a stance play, a little different. But
With your 6 newcomers that you had last year, Paul's the one that's probably made the biggest physical strides over the course of the year.
all right, let's think about it here now. Trent Howard is probably put on, I think he's about 285 now, close to 290, so he's made good progress and had a lot of setbacks from strep throat, mono. So, you know, he's overcome a lot, man. I tell you, I've been proud of him. And who else? We had John Williams. He's gotten a lot stronger. You know, he came in a little bit heavy last year, conditioning, got down. Now he's back up and running great. So he's made great strides. Brian Tucker, you know, he's gotten a lot stronger, doing well there. We talked about Paul. Paul was just in the weight room. He has just shown out. It's been fantastic. So who else? Walker's